Hello, hello, hello. It is me, your True Hill Phenom SP3. We are live on the True Hill Heat YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter for a new edition, the Romeo Report, number 12. Conspicuous by his absence is, of course, Romeo, but I am here with our ROH aficionado. He reviews ROH every week on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel on Fusion of Honor with the three-time baby-making champion Ness. He is the man of 1,004 numbers, the StatKing. What's
What's
going on,
going
brother?
What's going on, man? This is a crazy news day, crazy report that has come out, and that's why we're having this episode for you guys to talk about everything. Romeo was so disgusted by the news he didn't even want to appear on his own show.
He was like, I can't be associated with this news. I can't deal with anything that's going on. So I'm gonna take this one off. I'm gonna let you guys do it. But you guys know what to do. Drop a thumbs up on this video. Share this video with your wrestling fans, friends, and family on all your favorite social media platforms. If you are new to the True Hill Heat YouTube channel, smash that subscribe button. Hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. Daily content up and running on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel. You're going to see the StatKing on Dark Power episode 100 this week. So congratulations to him reviewing AEW Dark Elevation, AEW Dark, NWA Power. Tomorrow we go live at 1:35 p.m. Eastern Time. Me and Miss Chrissy Love with our Dark Side of the Ring Season 3 finale on the steroids trial. And of course, True Hill Heat 149 this Saturday, 11:05 a.m. Eastern Time, with our special guests, Jared Bailey, as well as Benjamin from Bailey and the Bird podcast. And they're going up against me and Miss Chrissy Love in our third fantasy wrestling draft. But yes, we are here to talk about Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor has been an organization since 2002. And they have been an organization rich in history. And when you look at the top stars of WWE, AEW, even Impact Wrestling, their champion right now, they all started in ROH. So the news that broke yesterday was very puzzling. It was very depressing for some fans, as someone like me, who I consider to be an ROH lifer type of fan, despite my love and support of them kind of diminishing over the last couple of years due to decisions made by them. I always consider myself an ROH fan through and through because it reinvigorated my love for the wrestling business. So this news that broke just yesterday was quite depressing, but we're going to start from the very beginning. StatKing, what do you think? And of course, like always, True Hill Heat is always interactive, so we want to hear from you guys in the live chat. Your super chat donations are always appreciated, and make sure that we highlight your comment, your take, your opinion on this news of ROH. We got Hassan Khalid saying, what, why? To the confusing title that we have here. Is this the end of ROH? We also got Fala B saying they're going full indie now. Yes, we're going to get into that as well. The Negro Buck Nick Jackson saying, hey guys, very crazy times upon us. That's for sure. Of course, Nick Jackson saying, damn, Romeo's so distraught. He didn't even show up for work. Yes.
To be fair, I don't think Romeo knows when Ring of Honor airs, so maybe he didn't know that the Romeo Report was going to air. But that's probably a function of the problem with Ring of Honor, is that people no longer really know what's going on with the product, what's going on with the show. I mean, obviously, if you are a Fusion of Honor fan or a Fusion of Honor watcher with myself and Ness, then yes, you do know what's going on with Ring of Honor. But
Yes,
there's not that many people who are that up on Ring of Honor. Since Sinclair bought it in 2011, I don't know, maybe somebody was watching Monday Night Raw, they saw the CM Punk pipe bomb, he mentioned ROH, and they were like, let's buy that company. It's gonna be great. But since then, they've slowly over time lost their viewership. And what's interesting about it is they actually picked up a lot of steam, which is kind of where the problems really, really start, when they were able to have the Young Bucks and really push them, have Kenny Omega with New Japan, push him, bring Cody in when he left WWE, push him. And then 2018 happened. And
yeah, we're gonna get into everything there. We got our good friend Connor Smith also joining us, saying, "Wow, Romeo really changed his look, new glasses, and a deep hate for WWE. The exact opposite of Romeo." Frantic World saying, "What's up, SP3, StatKing, and chat?" We got you, my boy Blue, saying, "Sup, y'all? What's going on, good brother?" And Nick Jackson saying, "Damn, that's fair, StatKing." And of course, Vala B saying they're not going out of business, but all the signs kind of say that yeah, I don't know they put it in a way which leaves the door open, and they're going to conceptualize, as we'll see. But we'll just pull up what the original posts, because this all started yesterday on their social media platforms when they released this press release, this statement here, saying, "Throughout the pandemic, our top priority was to keep everyone healthy and safe. And despite not producing any live events over 18 months, we were able to keep everyone fully contracted. We now find ourselves at a time where we need to make changes to our business operations and are planning a pivot for Ring of Honor with a new mission and strategy. The year will culminate with a final battle in December, and we will be taking the first quarter of 2022 to work internally to reimagine ROH. ROH has the most dedicated fans in the industry, like StatKing and myself, and we appreciate their loyalty and patience as we reconceptualize ROH. We anticipate returning to live events in April for the Supercard of Honor with a new fan-focused product and provide a unique experience for wrestling fans." So yes, that is the press release right there from Ring of Honor. Very interesting. It left a few things open, but then Uncle David Meltzer himself came out and just put everything out on the table and just said ROH is releasing everyone from their contracts. This was a shock to a lot of people. PW Insider reported also that ROH has informed staff and talent on the planned hiatus, which will begin after Final Battle. The event airs on pay-per-view on December 11th. The company plans on making changes to business operations and will not hold any live events until April of next year, with the reported return slated for Supercard of Honor in April. Additionally, PW Insider reports that Ring of Honor officials made the decision for the upcoming hiatus about a week ago. Ring of Honor is owned by the Sinclair Broadcasting group, but man, this was a shock to a lot of people. This was a shock to the system. Fightful Select then came out with their own report of the situation, and they reported that the talent releases will be effective at the end of 2021, and that if a contract goes beyond the end of the year, talent will be paid until March 31st. Talent has been told to contact Greg Gillenly if they want to work elsewhere, and that they're still under contract. The company will work on making that happen. ROH COO Joe Koff spoke with PW Insider about the development and said, "We care very deeply about our people and our talent. This is contractually and an individual conversation. I'm not going to comment on it at this point." And when asked if talent would be able to take work with other companies, Koff said, "We've had a conversation with them, and we will certainly work with every talent for whatever needs they have to fulfill what they're looking for." So what do you think about the original post and then all the news coming out from PW Insider, Fightful Select, and Dave Meltzer stacking?
It's kind of been something that in a way is a little expected, because Ring of Honor has had shows now without fans for, like they said, months. And they have for pay-per-view events, they have had people, a live crowd, but it's just incredible that they still haven't gone back to live events with crowds when two other companies have gone back to weekly live events with crowds as early as 4 to 5 months ago. And now Impact at least is doing tapings in front of live crowds. So for Ring of Honor to have not done that, how are you gonna draw money? How are you gonna have draw revenue? So in a way, it's kind of something that just was expected. I want to see now what this reimagined Ring of Honor is going to be. I've seen I think we've all kind of seen the meme of NXT 2.0 with the Ring of Honor logo across it. Kind of saying, hey, what's going to happen? Because there's going to be some kind of shift. If Ring of Honor has always been a very semi-serious approach to wrestling, and now they're saying they're going to go in a different way. Either they're going to go more into that serious, pure wrestling style, which, as much as we love Jonathan Gresham, doesn't really draw that much, or they're going to have to go more into that sports entertainment kind of side of things. And that could very well alienate the core fan base that has been around with Ring of Honor and is still sticking around despite the reduction in air times. I mean, there are some people who aren't able to watch Ring of Honor until 6 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday, but they're still watching it, which is incredible to show that loyalty. And if you are a member of the Ring of Honor Experience Facebook page, their official Facebook page, let's just say reactions have been mixed to this news.
I can only imagine.
Yeah, it's been pretty interesting. I want to say that there's some talent that we know that some of them were kind of on their way out. It didn't look as though Roosh, Dragon Lee were going to be hanging around for that much longer, particularly when there's a guy in AEW that they could easily work with when they're already working with AAA as it stands. There are also some people in Ring of Honor who I think have a really great look for WWE, particularly for NXT 2.0. Somebody like Dax Draper, who is 6'5", 6'6", and built like a classic Vince McMahon style wrestler, he would probably do very well in NXT 2.0. There are also people who would be incredible to see in AEW. Let's not forget that recently joined together PWG Tag Team Champions, Kings of the Black Throne, Malachi Black and Brody King of Violence Unlimited. There's also people who do well in Impact. Let's not forget where EC3 first stopped before he ended up in Ring of Honor when he left WWE. And I don't know, after what happened at Bound for Glory, it would seem perfect timing for somebody like EC3 to show back up in Impact to challenge their new world champion. So there are a lot of different possibilities for these talents. And I think what it kind of says is this could really be a rebuild from the ground up when it comes to who is going to be on their roster. Because, they're going to have people who are still on contract end of March, and they're going to come back in April. But there's also going to be a lot of people who are going to be leaving January 1st officially, and who knows if they're going to re-sign.
Yeah, it's a whole bunch of free agents that have just come available. It's going to be very, very interesting where everybody, goes to, because we've already been seeing some of the trickle down effect, because a team like the Briscoes, who for the past 10 years have been devoted to Ring of Honor. If they weren't in Ring of Honor, they were in New Japan because of the partnership with New Japan, but they had stopped all their outside bookings outside of Ring of Honor, and they just showed up at GCW at their biggest event of the year at GCW Fight Club. They confronted Mance Warner and Matthew Justice of the Second Gear Crew, and then at War Ready this past Saturday defeated them to become the new GCW World Tag Team Champions. So do you think that they were tipped off on what was going on with Ring of Honor before everybody else was yesterday?
I think they knew. They had to know, or they had to have some kind of inkling. The Briscoes, over the years, have proven to be very appearances are deceiving kind of people, because they know where their bread has been buttered. They know good business. And they've made a lot of money with Ring of Honor over the years. So for them to show up even at GCW, that itself was news. Yes, we had the big Jon Moxley, Nick Gage match at Fight Club, but also there was Thunder Rosa appearing, and holy shit, the Briscoes are there when we normally don't see them anywhere outside of Ring of Honor and New Japan. So I have to believe that if they weren't tipped off, they had some kind of inkling that this was going to happen.
They had to. We got to cover a couple of the comments that we got here. Alan saying, do you think they will actually be back? I am worried. I think they will be back, but the Ring of Honor of the past that have contracted people, that's done. It's going to be more run like an independent promotion, which is going to make it difficult for them to decide who's going to be the Ring of Honor world champion, who's going to hold their titles, because just about anybody can come and swoop them up. If a guy gets hot, like a Jonathan Gresham has been over the past year and a half, our AEW can just sign him up because he's not going to be under contract. WWE can just sign him up because they're not going to be under contract. So what do you think? Do you think they're going to be back, and in what form will they be back?
I think they're going to look a lot like the way the NWA looks right now, where the NWA has maybe 5-6 people who are actually under contract, people like Nick Aldis, Trevor Murdoch, now Mickey James, and a few others. And then the rest are just, who are we bringing in for these tapings? And we're going to take, one set of tapings, and we're going to find a way to stretch this over 3, maybe 4 months if we need to, before we get to the next series of tapings. And it's kind of interesting because the NWA is actually expanding. They're actually trying to run more live events, run more of the NWA pop-up shows, and do the sort of things that would turn them into what Ring of Honor until yesterday really was. So I think that's kind of an interesting shift between the two of them, but I think a few people will probably remain with the company. I mean, somebody like Jay Lethal, I don't think if you're Jay Lethal, you want to kind of start over. For Jay Lethal, it reminded me a lot, when I was thinking about the impact of the news, it reminded me a lot of Sting back when WCW was purchased by WWE. Would he go to a different company? I think in this situation, Jay Lethal would probably stick with ROH because, I mean, unless he's mismanaged his money, he has to be well off at this point where he doesn't necessarily need the money. And the question is, what happens when you take the franchise of ROH and move him somewhere else? He can easily be the Nick Aldis of the NWA, of this new Ring of Honor, this kind of anchor piece that they build the rest of it around, and they build the majority of the stories around. So we'll have to see how this looks, but it feels to me it's going to be kind of like an NWA with a TV deal.
That would be very, very interesting for sure. I'll get to my thoughts on the Sinclair broadcasting group shortly. Drugs Delaney here with us. What's going on, good brother? Saying ROH made me love non-mainstream wrestling, so this bums me out. You are preaching to the choir at a time in high school where WWE just wasn't doing it for me. Like we were in the middle of the reign of terror on Monday Night Raw. SmackDown had just lost, at the time I discovered ROH, SmackDown had just lost Kurt Angle and Brock Lesnar. JBL was the champion. So I was really disenfranchised with professional wrestling. And then I saw Punk versus Joe 2, and I was like, yo, what's this? What's going on here? Let me find out what's going on here, because it's been so long before that I saw an hour-long match. Like the only hour-long matches that I had really seen were Michaels and Brett and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat and Ric Flair, but that was like a decade before that. So to see it in the modern era and to see these guys have a pace that was so much faster than what Michaels and Brett did in 1996, this just amazed me, and I was drawn to it. I was drawn to the unique look of CM Punk and the straight edge lifestyle. I was drawn to Samoa Joe, a guy that's 265 pounds, moving, doing suicide dives, doing the submissions, doing the suplexes. I was drawn to it. So I definitely agree with you. It made me love independent wrestling. It made me started my way to eventually going to my first independent show, which was Ring of Honor Final Battle 2006 in the Hammerstein Ballroom, where I got to see Homicide defeat Bryan Danielson and had his legendary run as ROH World Champion. And I'll never forget that night. That's one of the greatest events that I've ever been to. And that really sucked me in, where I went to every single Hammerstein Ballroom Manhattan Center event for ROH from then to 2009 when Bryan Danielson and Nigel McGuinness had their final events in Ring of Honor. So I am definitely there with you. And of course, in the live chat, let us know your favorite ROH moment as well, because whether it's reconceptualized or doesn't come back at all, this era of Ring of Honor is over. So we should kind of talk about our fondest memories there. Connor is saying we all knew it was the beginning of the end when they took the title off PCO.
He malfunctions. What can you?
He's a little bit off. Alan Weinstein saying all the wrestlers will be signed somewhere else when ROH comes back. Do they think wrestlers will just wait around for ROH to come back? So we're going to talk about that after I go through the rest of the comments and we cover what else the news coming out, what Dave Meltzer had to say on Wrestling Observer as far as this. We'll also say that, but at the end of the video, we'll talk about the major players and where we think they will end up, if not back in ROH when they restart at Supercard of Honor in April during WrestleMania weekend. Connor Smith saying we shall call it Ring of Imagination. I actually like that one. We also got Alan saying hot sauce Tracy Williams to MLW. He also says here he says Jay Lethal to AEW confirmed. Connor Smith saying, hey, StatKing, maybe my local promotion will finally get their pandemic champion back.
Okay. So what he's referring to is his local promotion. Gosh, I forget it right now. It's North Shore something Pro Wrestling. Their TV their champion was Flip Gordon. And during a promo where he was explaining why he had to vacate the title during the pandemic, he intentionally called it the Plandemic and said that he had to vacate because they wouldn't let him travel because of this fake pandemic and disease and illness.
Gotta love you some Flip Gordon, and Bala B talking about that. Nobody wants Flip Gordon. Nick Jackson says the Briscoes will tear it up wherever they go. Alan says Briscoes to TNA. We also got Joyce Delaney saying Brody Lee and Dan Hausen to AEW. We also, I think Bala B, I think he knows. Brody Lee. He said meant Brody King, of course. I get that confused as well. It's okay, drugs, and you're on drugs, so it makes sense. Nick Jackson saying Bala B, the Young Bucks would probably take him just to clown him on BTE again. Yes, drugs does admit he meant King. I'm high. Nick Jackson says Jay Lethal was the first guy I thought of. He's definitely been the franchise for a long time. Totally agree with you. Drugs Delaney saying Brody King and Malachi Black for AEW Tag Team Champions. ROH. Nick Jackson saying ROH helped me get back into wrestling as a teen. Seeing the Briscoes and the Young Bucks and AJ Styles there with the IWGP Championship. Damn, you're young. Just the lady saying Pung Jo trilogy was amazing. Frantic World saying I hope AEW, Impact, and New Japan Pro Wrestling get some of the ROH wrestlers. And Nick Jackson saying ROH is also the reason I discovered one of my favorite current wrestlers in Adam Cole. Baby. And Drugs Delaney saying Gresham to Impact would make sense. I do agree with you there. He says Generico versus Steen Ladder Wars, my favorite. We also got Valabi saying for me it was Generico versus Steen. I definitely agree with you there. Drugs Delaney saying Future Shock Implode match when Kyle O'Reilly kicked the teeth out of Adam Cole. Yes, I was there live for that. That's a memorable fucking matchup indeed. Vampire saying, do you think Tony Khan will buy ROH? Do you think I won't ask, do you think Tony Khan will buy ROH? Because I feel like they still got the TV deal in place from what we're hearing. So they're going to keep, I think Sinclair's going to keep ROH for now. That's something they could put on a bunch of their syndication networks. But do you think Tony Khan might think about buying the tape library?
I don't think so either, because Sinclair makes money off of the tape library. And I was talking about this with say on a Discord channel yesterday, but it doesn't make sense at all for Sinclair to sell Ring of Honor, because as long as they're able to as long as they can even just break even when it comes to running it every year. They're continually building a tape library that they can have, that they can show, that they can build subscribers with Honor Club. So it really doesn't make sense for them at all to sell it, because I mean, let's say for argument that running Ring of Honor costs $1 million a year. Well, if you were going to have a production company make a show for you, we'll just call it Space Monkeys in Space, and they had that show and it cost them $1 million to produce it, they're not going to charge you $1 million. They're going to charge you 1.5 because they have to make their profit. So as long as you keep your costs low, which is really what they're showing us they're doing here, it doesn't make any sense to sell it. And I don't think what is Tony Khan going to buy the tape library for, unless he's going to create an AEW Plus or an AEW network. And I think that's going to be the eventual goal with all of the Dark and Elevation tapings that they're doing. I don't know if it would make sense to buy it now. Maybe buy it down the road if it is still available.
I would definitely just try to buy the all-in tape rights, and maybe that's a little bit cheaper than the entire tape library.
Yeah, that's
at least get all in. We should also mention on last night's Wrestling Observer episode, Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer noted that the company will move forward by just running shows with whoever the top independent talent is on the nights they run shows and TV tapings. The downside to this is, of course, like we said earlier, they will not be able to prevent their wrestlers from going to WWE, AEW, Impact, or elsewhere, which could potentially hurt future storylines or take away champions, as it would any other independent company. It was also noted that Sinclair did not cancel television, and they will be running with archival footage after Final Battle leading up to the relaunch in April. So, like I said before, Sinclair still owns the company. So they're gonna keep them around in some form. I don't know how TV is gonna be when you don't have contracted talent. That's a little bit interesting and a little bit different from any other. Most independent companies don't have weekly television like Ring of Honor will. Like you said, you bring up the point of NWA. At least NWA has a few guys that they have under contract or have on a per date deal where they can retain them and know how long they're gonna have them. ROH is gonna be potentially run completely different from that. So it's now time for me to talk about Sinclair Broadcasting Company.
We could run that company better than they do.
Oh my God. I don't know how they do with their TV. That's
True Heels should buy Ring of Honor.
hey, if you say the right price, I might just buy it. I might
you guys, all we need are more super chats. Let's go.
Exactly. Just get more super chat donations. Help us buy Ring of Honor from Sinclair Broadcasting Company. So, like I said, I went to every Hammerstein Ballroom event from Final Battle 2006 to Glory by Honor 2009. I took a hiatus. Me, Jimmy Macaram, Marcus Cash, my good brother Steve Stash, we went as a group to a lot of those events in those 2 to 3 year period. But we took a break when Danielson and Nigel left. They were both supposed to go to WWE. I don't know if you guys remember, Nigel McGuinness had the failed physical, so he went to TNA. Bryan Danielson went to WWE. We took a break. In the year that we missed a lot of great stuff. We missed most of the Steen versus Generico feud, which I had to go back and watch, which was awesome. It was great. We missed Tyler Black's ROH World Championship run with his Summer of Black kind of take off of the Summer of Punk when he was signed by WWE and still ROH World Champion. We missed the rise of Roderick Strong becoming the ROH World Champion, the rise of Davey Richards, the American Wolves, Eddie Edwards in that time. When we came back, it was the first Hammerstein Ballroom event that I went to was actually the first under Sinclair Broadcasting Group, which was Best in the World 2011, with the main event of Eddie Edwards defending the ROH World Championship against Davey Richards. You had Jay Lethal coming from TNA to back to ROH. You had El Generico win the television championship on that night. So there was a lot of great things that came out of this night. And there was a sense of optimism at that time that, ROH is now on weekly TV. It's not on HD Net. that was only available in a couple of different places and
I
like that
remember
2-year run. Yes,
that.
from 2009 to 2011. It's on Sinclair Broadcasting. Although Sinclair Broadcasting wasn't available for me in New York, it was available in so many different places that ROH wasn't available from on HDNet. So there was very optimism. And June became December. We went to Final Battle. You had Kevin Steen coming back, his first match back against Steve Corino. That whole angle where he was like the anti-hero. He wasn't signed by ROH. He was kicked out after the matchup where he lost against Generico at Final Battle 2010. And they did this whole angle, which we would find out later on they completely botched because they didn't do it properly in terms of what Steen said. Jim Cornette was in charge of booking at that time. That was actually a good time. It was actually a good time. I can't front. Into 2012, we had the rise of House of Truth with Michael Elgin. You had the Richards versus Elgin match during WrestleMania weekend. That classic, one of the best ROH matches that a lot of people forget about. As 2012 went on, we started to see that Sinclair didn't really care about Ring of Honor the way we thought they would. Kevin Owens had his great matchup with El Generico, the Ladder War at Final Battle 2012. If you go back and watch that, when Generico gets thrown into the guardrail, you could see my hand come and touch him on the back and say, "Are you okay?" Because I was in the front row for that. Great times. 2013 WrestleMania weekend, the Supercard of Honor, Jay Briscoe beating Kevin Steen for the ROH World Championship. One of the best live experiences I've ever been a part of, especially during the WrestleMania weekend. But slowly but surely, it became very evident that Sinclair didn't care about it. So the buzz that they had when we went back for Best in the World 2011 had wear thin. Then it came the ROH and New Japan deal. And we were like, "Oh, we're back. We got the buzz again. We're back." But sooner than later, we found out that wasn't really a partnership. That was fucking New Japan bending Ring of Honor over backwards, because Ring of Honor never won any of the head-to-head matchups really between Ring of Honor guys and New Japan guys. When Ring of Honor guys beat New Japan guys, it was usually someone like AJ Styles or the Young Bucks who work with both promotions. So it was never a genuine Ring of Honor guy getting the victory.
We got the Ring of Honor title defended a couple times at Wrestle Kingdom, right?
And that wasn't worth a shit. Jay Lethal versus Michael Elgin. Who remembers that at a Wrestle Kingdom? Adam Cole versus Kyle O'Reilly. Who remembers that at a Wrestle Kingdom?
Adam Cole does. He came 3 times.
Oh my god! Yeah, that's the only thing. That's the only thing memorable that's happened at Wrestle Kingdom as far as the Ring of Honor World Championship. That deal was that was so one-sided, and then the Elite came to prominence with the Bullet Club. Ring of Honor became a very Bullet Club centric group, and then it got the buzz again. It became at one point the second biggest promotion in the United States when the Young Bucks were firing all on cylinders in their tag team division. You had Cody coming in at Final Battle 2016 and becoming one of the best heels in professional wrestling at that time. You had Kenny Omega coming over for a couple of events. You had the whole angle with Adam Cole where they kicked Adam Cole out of the Bullet Club. They brought in Marty Scurll. You had Hangman Page on the rise. There was so many good things happening. And then they had new stars coming in. They had stars on the rise, like a Punishment Martinez, a Dalton Castle, a Jeff Cobb. Like, it was so good. And then that tweet happened where they asked Dave Meltzer, "Do you think Ring of Honor can sell out a 10,000 seat arena?" And Ring of Honor didn't believe in the buzz that they had accumulated, that they didn't believe in the Elite that much, but the Elite believed in their self more than Ring of Honor did, and they said, "Yeah, we can do that." And they did that at All In by using the bankroll of fucking Ring of Honor.
That's did. There's so many people in the Ring of Honor Experience Facebook page that will shit on AEW and will shit on the Elite and are so angry and just bitter about what happened with AEW. And my response is always, Ring of Honor let it happen to them. They not only let it happen, they welcomed it. They allowed all of this to happen. They did not, because to your point, Sinclair Broadcasting Group, as long as they break even, do not care about Ring of Honor whatsoever. Honestly, I think it's interesting that Sinclair Broadcasting Group, which owns a multitude of local TV channels around the country and has had multiple accusations of being kind of right wing and a kind of Trump supportery, and have like there are plenty of clips that you can take where it's different Sinclair local channels and all the anchors are saying the same exact script. That company would not have told Ring of Honor management, why aren't you running live shows in a in the pandemic, when they don't care about the idea of being vaccinated, wearing masks, all that kind of stuff. You could easily just be like, all right, cool, just make sure people wear masks or vaccinated, whatever the case may be, but do live shows. Why are they like the one promotion with a TV deal that was more cautious about this pandemic than any of the other ones? It doesn't make any sense.
No, we should be celebrating for them for that. You know, regardless of how you feel about that, they kept their workers safe. They paid a bunch of guys who didn't, you know, have show up or didn't have to show up for the live events that were canceled. They did a lot of great things during the pandemic. I'm talking about everything that goes back before that. We should highlight these two comments here. First from Vala B. Thank you. Super chat donation. We always appreciate that. He says my deposit for that buy ROH fund. Remember, guys, any super chat donations is going towards the True Heel Heat buys Ring of Honor Foundation. We are starting a foundation with this stream here for us to buy Ring of Honor. Any donations on any of the streams up until True Heel Heat 149 will go towards our buy ROH Foundation. We also should highlight this comment from Nick Jackson, because Nick Jackson is our boy, but he's wrong here. He says that was the beginning of the end for them. The elite finessed the shit out of them. No, I'm literally, this is why I'm outlining everything that's happened since 2011. It starts in 2011 when Sinclair bought them. That was the real beginning of the downhill, because they were bought by a broadcast promotion that just wanted wrestling. They just wanted wrestling and had no fucking clue what to do with it. That was the first issue. And then from there, it seems like everything good had a butt to it. You know, you got the deal with Ring of Honor. You can have talent over there, but they're going to win all the matches and make you look inferior in comparison. You were responsible in partnering up with the elite for All In, but they've created a whole new promotion out of that, while you got the back end and got a whole bunch of your talent taken away from it. Like, and then the next chapter in this is when they eventually do decide to go to a 10,000 seat arena from Madison Square Garden. They sell out on the first day. Why? Let's be honest here, ladies and gentlemen. It's not because of the guys that were actually on the show representing Ring of Honor. It wasn't because of Jay Lee. No, it wasn't because of him either. It wasn't because of Jay White. It wasn't because of Jay Lethal. It wasn't because of Matt Taven. It wasn't because of Marty Scurll. And I outside of Marty Scurll, I like a whole bunch of those. I like 75% of the people that I just named there. But it was because on the advertisements, if you remember it, for Supercard of the G1 Supercard, they promoted Kenny Omega. They promoted Cody Rhodes, and they promoted the Young Bucks. They promoted the Elite as one of the headliners. It was them and Kazuchika Okada front and center on the promotional video for G1 Supercard when it was first announced. That's the reason people wanted to see it. G1 Supercard, I bought my ticket under the belief that I could potentially see Okada and Omega in the United States. That's what I wanted to see for the show, and that's why I bought my ticket on the first day. It wasn't because of the guys, and I love the Jay Lethal. I think he's one of the talented guys on the roster in the world today, and especially if you're a place like AEW, who has been accused of not having a diverse main event event crew, getting guys like a Jay Lethal, a Jonathan Gresham, a Shane Taylor. Those are the guys they should be front and center to get out of this releasing of ROH talent. But at the end of the day, they sold out G1 Supercard under the belief that the Elite would be a part of Ring of Honor or New Japan at the time when that event happened. But that didn't happen. And then the event did happen, and New Japan was the fucking highlight. And all I remember from ROH on that night is them putting the title on the least over guy. And I'm a fan of Matt Taven as well. I'm not trying to shit on Matt Taven, but
Didn't
when
he hit you
you
with
have,
a kendo stick?
huh?
Didn't he hit you with a kendo stick?
No, that was Silas Young who was there
Silas,
getting hit with the kendo stick. But you have he was there afterwards where I said I bought a Matt Taven shirt and I found my wife. I found my wife afterwards, ladies and gentlemen. The story of love. In a matchup that has Jay Lethal as the ROH World Champion and the most over guy in your promotion at that time, Marty Scurll, Matt Taven winning the title was just the wrong decision. It just was. That's what I remember from G1 Supercard, and I also remember fucking Enzo and Kaz coming out of the crowd for a fucking
shit.
angle.
I forgot about that.
You mentally made the decision to forget about that. Don't front. We got another found. Oh my God, you my boy Blue. You are my boy indeed. He says I'm all in. Let's do it. Yes, it's True Heel Heat is buying Ring of Honor with their super chat donations like that. We're gonna make it happen, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna buy Ring of Honor. We're gonna take it, and we know what to do with a professional wrestling company. Well, we might not know what to do, but we know what to do much better than fucking Sinclair Broadcasting. But yeah, that whole thing, and then Ring of Honor. I mean, our AEW had already been announced by G1 Supercard, but when you have your biggest event ever, and the only things I remember is that you put the world title on the wrong guy, and you brought the wrong team from WWE over to your promotion. It was like it was already this was it. It was like this with going to Sinclair, and then it slowly started going down. Then it came back up for New Japan. It came even more up with the Elite and the Bullet Club. Then it went back down with All In because of what would happen. They didn't know at the time. At the time, it was just like, oh, we're still on the up. We're still on the up because we just got these guys. They just sold out a 10,000 seat arena. We were a part of that. This is great. We're still on the up. But it was really like slowly trajectorying down. Then they were up again because they sold out Madison Square Garden. And then it was a downward spiral after the Madison Square Garden show.
If anybody finessed ROH, it was Gato, not the Elite.
Agreed. Alan saying True Heel Heat presents ROH Wrestling. Absolutely. Bala B saying, let's fucking go, Blue. Yes, absolutely. Nick Jackson saying, you're right, man. Y'all always telling me when I'm wrong, and I love that. We do it out of love. When your family member is making the wrong decision, they spending their last paycheck, their last bit of money from their paycheck on drugs instead of paying their rent. You tell them, you be like, yo, go pay your rent, and then you can smoke a blunt. Like you can do, like that's what we do here at True Heel Heat. We all a family. Y'all are our family in the live chat, and that's why we love all of y'all. Alan saying Sinclair is the new Ted Turner. Vampire saying it right. Sinclair is the real villain in the story. The Elite is just a scapegoat. That's a great comment right there. Like that's in its essence. I think me and StatKing definitely agree with that.
Absolutely. Oh man.
Oh man. Alan saying love Marty Scurll the wrestler, hate Marty Scurll the human being. That's another great way to put it. Indeed. You must Sid Claire Entertainment.
We gotta make that LLC like right after that.
That's great. Oh my god. Someone screenshot this and tag me on Twitter, please. This is great right here. Sid Claire Entertainment and True Heel Heat present Ring of Honor. Absolutely. Honor still lives in True Heel Heat.
Honor is real.
Nick Jackson says, I'll be shocked if AEW doesn't make a play to get Jay Lethal. We also got here, oh my God, you guys are killing it with the comments. I must say. We got Connor Smith saying, could be a big opportunity for MLW to take the ball and run with it. So you cover both of these. Do you think that MLW can grab up, and what talent would, if you're MLW, should be first on their list to grab up from Ring of Honor and take advantage of this opportunity?
Well, I think that, and it wouldn't be an appearance of me on a True Hill Heat show without saying this, but I think MLW would have been better positioned to take advantage of this if, a certain company hadn't cock-blocked them when it came to a streaming deal on Tubi. But, that's just my deep hate for WWE. But as to who they should try to sign, I think Bandito, Flamita, Ray Horace, the Mexa Squad guys, those would be a really great addition to MLW. I think Eli Isom, the guy who they've been saying for months, actual years, is the future of ROH, now is left with no future. So maybe an future in MLW would be great for him. I was looking over their roster. Josh Woods is probably the number one guy that if I was MLW, I would try to sign. The current Ring of Honor Pure Champion. He has the MMA background. And what's great about MLW is because they highlight different styles of wrestling and of combat and try to mesh all of that together, somebody like Josh Woods would fit in perfectly from the MMA aspect. And then if you lose somebody like Tom Lawler to a more permanent New Japan deal or to maybe AEW, you're okay because you have somebody like Josh Woods. And there's a lot of different options there for Josh Woods coming in there, particularly because your roster already has so many great options. He could go up against Davey Richards. He could go up against TJP. Even a match with him and Hammerstone, the clash of styles would be really, really good. So MLW is well positioned here. It just depends on how much money Court Bauer has to spend, which, as True Draw Josh says, is probably less than Austin's bank account.
Probably so. We got Nick Jackson here saying, man, it's all said and done. ROH is going to stand for Ring of Heels.
Just a roster of bad guys.
Roster of bad guys owned by True Hill Heat. Hey, what's going on? Andrew Kratzer is here with us. Thank you for joining us, good brother. We got Alan saying fucking Enzo is coming to MLW.
He is.
Connor Smith said, to be fair, I hear you could buy all the Ring of Honor contracts for $20. Give us another $20. We could buy each contract with $20. Come on, super chat donation. We just need 4 people to give us $5. There you go. And even if you're in the UK, £5 is even more than that. So come on, help us out. We're trying to buy all the contracts. So
AEW probably has the easiest way of getting Dan Hausen because they can give him a supply of teeth from Britt Baker. But besides that, the $20 will cover everybody else.
Now you're thinking, sir. Vala B saying Jay White is a great promo, but every other promo has him drop the line, I sold out MSG. It's great heel heat because we know it did it.
See, now here's the thing. Romeo, if you were on here, I would be able to confirm with you that the New York Knicks no longer played at an arena called MSG. It's actually MSJ. That's what I heard. At least
they're we need Romeo to confirm or deny that. Frantic World saying, I don't understand why ROH was trying to make Matt Taven a big deal. Wallaby saying Matt Taven, great guy, okay wrestler. Nick Jackson says it was a nosedive after G1 Supercard. I don't tell any lies. I mean, the pandemic helped the nosedive go even further because if you're going 18 months without live events, without merchandise like that at live events, and you're still paying your talent, you're gonna lose so much money to the point that they had to do this. It was almost inevitable that this would happen. I just feel really bad for the talent that were on the rise and getting the biggest push and the biggest opportunities of their life, like Shane Taylor, like Jonathan Gresham, like Bandito, and Josh Woods is another good one. That now they are kind of in flux right now. We also got Connor Smith saying, "Damn, we're going to have to call it fusion of fusion."
It's really funny because if you guys remember, I don't know if you guys remember, that show started as a review of Honor. It started as an ROH show. Then we added MLW. Then MLW went on hiatus for a while, and now Ring of Honor is just like, bye, see you later.
They're like, peace out. Vampire. See, we're coming up with good names for our promotion here. Ring of Heat. I like it. Ring of Heat sounds better to me.
Every world title matches, all of them have to be Inferno matches. Yeah,
Inferno matches.
That's how you book, pal. That's how you book.
We're gonna have an Inferno title. All the matches and Inferno matches. We're coming up with great ideas. We're already doing better than Sick Care Broadcasting, thanks to your live chats and super chat donations. You guys are awesome.
All the matches are also sponsored by the local fire department. Come on.
We're just thinking ahead. Nick Jace is saying, I could see WWE trying to snag up Josh Woods. He just looks like someone Vince would love to try and mold in his image. Yeah, I agree. He does look like he could be like a Tony D'Angelo or someone like that from NXT 2.0. It's someone that he could easily come up with. We also got Chief here saying, do you guys think what ROH is great business? Do you guys think what ROH is great business?
I don't think ROH has been a great business. I don't think ROH is doing great business. I don't think ROH will be great business. I don't think buying ROH is really great business, to be honest with you. I mean, we're still going to do it, though, because we are great business. But I don't think anybody else buying Ring of Honor is great business.
I love the work Ness and StatKing do on Fugitive Honor, but it's not among our biggest draws even on this channel. We do it for the love of Ring of Honor that we still review it on the show, and because we on True Hill Heat cover all of professional wrestling, we do it here, but yeah, I mean, Ring of Honor hasn't been in great business. Like I said, I went back 10 years to the original signing of Sinclair Broadcasting. Before that, when Ring of Honor was just purely an independent promotion that we did have some contracted talent, that was the peak. Like the peak of Ring of Honor was really, I would say, 2005 to 2010. That 5-year period, that was the strongest. That was the peak. That's probably one of the biggest peaks in professional wrestling as far as quality and the stars that they had of any promotion that I've seen in my lifetime.
A great example as to why Sinclair is a bad business run by shoddy business people is if you had WWE Network, you got all their pay-per-views. If you now have Peacock, you get all their pay-per-views. If you are a subscriber to New Japan World, you get all their pay-per-views. If you're on Impact Plus, you get special Impact Plus only events. If you're part of Honor Club, you get a discount when you buy their pay-per-views.
That's fucking ridiculous.
Why are people supposed to want to be subscribers? Why are people supposed to want to continue to support this product if all they're getting is a discount? And you're paying the same rate as you would for New Japan World, Peacock subscriptions, and so on and so forth.
That's fucking ridiculous. So I have the ROH roster in front of me here. We're gonna start. I'm gonna skip some people that I don't believe are fully contracted people, but I'm starting in alphabetical order. And one of the top names at the alphabetical order is the current ROH World Champion, Bandito. Where do you think Bandito is going? He's already confirmed that he has 3 dates with GCW, Game Changer Wrestling, which that right now is the biggest and the hottest independent promotion in the world today. So he's going to be there in December. But where do you think Bandito will sign if he does sign somewhere?
I think he goes to MLW.
I kind of have to agree with you there. I would love to see him in AEW just for the matches against Kenny Omega, Pac, Ray Phoenix. Man, it's just
the funniest part of this is now they can actually. They don't even need to buy the tape rights to All In. They can just recreate All In because they have everybody who's on AEW. They have access to the New Japan people. They just got to get Okada over. And now they have, the main event was, they don't have Rey Mysterio. But it was Bandito, Ray Horus, and Rey Mysterio versus the Golden Elite with Bucks and Ibushi.
Yeah.
They can do that.
No, yeah, it was Phoenix, Mysterio, and Bandito.
Mysterio, there you go.
Brody King. I say AEW.
AEW, Kings of Black Throne. Let's do this. Perfect time for House of Black to start, revealing that they have members.
Dalton Castle. I would say Impact Wrestling.
Yeah. I would go with Impact. I could also see him being somebody in NXT.
That is true. He was thinking about going there before he re-signed with Ring of Honor. Danhausen.
I think Danhausen stays more in the independents. I don't think he necessarily signs with any one company, but I think he'd be really interesting in GCW.
I would agree. He has appeared for GCW in the past, as recently as a couple of months back at Highest in the Room. Dragon Lee, I'm going with New Japan Pro Wrestling.
See, I mean, this is also going to be with the same with Roosh and Bestia. I really want them to pair up with Andrade in AEW, but that's also because I think everybody should have a faction in AEW because AEW loves factions.
So you're going with Roosh in AEW and Dragon Lee?
Yeah, I think they can do combination between AEW and AAA the same way that Andrade is doing that now.
EC3, I'm going with Impact Wrestling.
Impact. Oh man,
got to go back home. Since we mentioned him in the live chat, Flip Gordon.
I think New Japan. I think he'd be good on New Japan Strong.
That's actually not a bad shout. The Briscoes, I please bring the Briscoes to AEW. There's so many dream matches I want to see with the Briscoes in AEW, please.
Just the two of them being able to the pair of them and the Bucks being able to tear the house down with a live 1 million+ audience now on TNT and being able to reference all the things that they've done in the past with each other in Ring of Honor, I think would be incredible.
Absolutely. Super sticker donation here from the boy Richie Moon. Thank you. Check out our True Hill Heat Instagram account. Richie Moon contributes over there. He does bi-weekly Sunday review of the latest news, so he'll be surely to give his opinion on Ring of Honor this coming week as well. Jay Lethal.
This is the tough one. I think Nick Jackson brought up a good point of him being in AEW, but a part of me really believes he is going to be a part of whatever Ring of Honor 2.0 really is.
I kind of agree with you because he's like the lifer. Him and the Briscoes are like the lifers of Ring of Honor. But I could see the Briscoes siding with AEW and still being able to do an independent promotion Ring of Honor. And I could see the same thing with Jay Lethal. But if he does sign with any promotion, I would think he goes back to Impact Wrestling, where he could finally achieve the one thing he never was able to achieve, the Impact World Championship. And now he's at a level where he can do that.
Yeah.
Jonathan Gresham, this is my number one draft pick for AEW. This is my number. I know Impact Wrestling, it would be great because he would be there with his wife, Jordan Grace, his fiance. But AEW needs African Americans who can be in the main event scene. And Jonathan Gresham versus Bryan Danielson, give it to me. Inject it into my veins.
Oh no, sir. No. Give me the cross promotional pay-per-view triple threat of Jonathan Gresham versus Bryan Danielson versus Zack Sabre Jr. Submissions only. Let's fly.
Wouldn't mind that either. Josh Woods.
MLW or Impact, I think he'd be great in AEW, but I also think he's somebody who could potentially get lost in the shuffle in AEW, whereas I think with Impact or MLW, he'd have a real chance to shine.
This is what I'm going to go with, WWE. I think Josh Woods is young enough where they can mold him in whatever way they want him, and they kind of like the guys who have his background in like MMA like he does. So I see Khan here, our boy, who has commented on True Hill Heat, on Fusion of Honor in the past. So I'm going to put it all into a group. Khan, Moses, Shane Taylor Promotions. Where do you think they go?
Just as you were talking about representation in AEW, I think this is where AEW needs to sign the three of these guys. They are absolutely amazing in the ring. They bring a sense of presence and just physicality that is kind of unmatched and unrivaled from anybody on the independent scene. Shane Taylor would be a force in AEW, so I really hope that they get picked up by AEW.
He's something like completely different
Yeah.
because you have someone like a powerhouse Hobbs who's African American, has that big size, has the explosiveness that Shane Taylor has. But Shane Taylor is a very underrated talker.
Yes.
He could talk people into the building. And if AEW is going to have a trios division, there's no better trio in my opinion in the world than Shane Taylor Promotions right now.
Oh yeah.
We got a super chat donation from Vala B here saying, guys, I don't want to spook you, but what if Triple H buys ROH out of his own pocket as something he owns for himself? He won't do that because his pocket is Vince McMahon's pocket.
Yeah.
Thank you. Kenny King.
This one is interesting to me. I think Kenny probably makes more sense back in Impact or MLW or again New Japan. New Japan Strong. New Japan has the ability now to basically take New Japan Strong and really make it into something. I hope Bushiroad is paying attention.
Maria Kanellis Bennett.
I will speak on behalf of myself and Ness and say she should retire. No, I don't really know. No. I know. Well, she doesn't. That's the thing. She's not an in-ring competitor for Ring of Honor. She's only a on-screen matchmaker as part of the ROH board of directors. So, if anything, she's responsible for the mess that ROH is in. But no, I think
we're putting the blame on her. I love it.
Ness is going to when we record.
I'm sure of that. I'm sure of that.
No, I think for her it's kind of a package deal. Her and Mike Bennett, and I think that they would really. I think they'd be cool back in Impact. The Miracle Mike Bennett had a nice little run of doing not much. So I think maybe trying to do a second go around with it would actually be kind of interesting because of just the rise of Impact. And there are a lot more options now in Impact. They've added that digital media championship. They've got some great people that Bennett and Kanellis can work with in the men's and the knockouts division. So maybe going back to Impact.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind Mike Bennett or Maria Kanellis back in Impact Wrestling because it's a different dynamic that they got there now. Matt Taven.
I think Matt Taven would also work in Impact if they tried to do a form of the Kingdom, the OGK, in Impact. Besides that, I maybe see him in MLW. That'd be kind of interesting.
I actually don't mind that. Matt Taven in MLW, it would be interesting, and yeah, I'll go with that. Mark Haskins.
Mark Haskins has not appeared on Ring of Honor
because he's been stuck in the UK.
Yeah. So I mean, I would probably slot him with MLW or even Progress. I guess if he could re-sign with Progress, he'd be part of Progress. That would be a decent spot for him. But I don't know how big the market would be for any of the major players to really be interested in Mark Haskins.
We got a good shout here from Andrew saying Maria should go to WoW.
That is an option as well. And there are a lot of the women on the roster who would be very good for WoW, such as like Angelina Love and Mandy Leon. I think they would do very well in WoW.
Yeah, I could see Angelina Love and Mandy Leon and definitely in WoW. One of the best prospects in all of Ring of Honor, Roxy, the current Woman of Honor champion. Ooh. She got called by AEW reportedly from Fightful Select before she officially signed. Well, after she officially signed with Ring of Honor, I would say AEW is the best spot for her. That's a girl that you can build the future of your AEW Women's Division around.
She is so incredibly talented for being so young. She's only 19 years old, and she's already as good as she is, and she's only going to get better. So I think Roxy is definitely somebody that they can build around, particularly because they brought in some, I don't want to say old, but more older talents in the form of, say, Ruby Soho, Thunder Rosa, who is not she hasn't had as many years in pro wrestling, but also these are women who have so much more experience that if you pair them up with some of these younger talents that you can bring in, Roxy is already probably levels above people like Penelope Ford, people like Red Velvet, and some of the women that they brought in for AEW Dark and AEW Elevation. Not to, cast any aspersions towards the Nightmare Factory, but Roxy is definitely better than them. So bringing her in, that would be a great shot in the arm for AEW.
Ray Horace, I would say MLW is a good place for him.
Yeah, MLW as well as be some appearances on New Japan Strong.
And we got our last couple here. Tracy Williams.
Tracy Williams, MLW. I agree. I don't remember who put that in the chat, but I agree with that 100%.
And Rhett Titus.
Rhett Titus as well. I think you try to bring both of the Foundation B team, tag team, Rhett Titus and Tracy Williams over to Mountain MLW.
I got a few more here. Vincent.
This is actually hilarious because from Final Battle last year, they were telling the story of Vincent versus Matt Taven. They had a match there. Then Ring of Honor, had to shut down for a bit. They came back in the pure title tournament. And not Final Battle of 2019 is really when they kind of started the whole Vincent and Taven thing. And then Final Battle of 2020. Now, recently, a couple months ago, I think 2, Glory by Dishonor, Vincent beats Taven in a steel cage match. That's actually a really great match. But he beats Taven and gets Vin's world title shot. 2 months later, the company is shuttering for 3 months. Like, they told the story from December of 2019 to, I want to say, September of 2021, and it's going to go absolutely nowhere. And the best part of it is Vincent's now cutting promos with that black crown that Taven used to wear, and it's just like, oh, well, this is not, like, what are we even doing here? I think Vincent is somebody, like, I think I remember when we got the announcement that Bray was interested in working with somebody from Ring of Honor, and I was like, oh, is it going to be the Righteous? And then it was like, no, it's Dan Hausen. I was like,
no.
But he and the rest of the Righteous, I don't know, I feel like they would be really cool in Impact to kind of be a newer version of the Broken Hardy storyline. Not the idea of just trying to recreate Broken Hardy, but more of that supernatural kind of just demonic cultish kind of thing. And I think they pair up pretty well with DK, or at least they'd be able to feud with DK when they first arrive to try to out spooky the other one.
And then the final person that I have here on my list, the newest signee of Ring of Honor, Trish Adora.
That's just horrible. I forgot about her being signed.
Just the
signing
month.
part of it. Yeah, just the new signing part. Man, gosh, I think AEW. Honestly,
I would love AEW to sign her.
Would be amazing. AEW would be amazing, and she would have so many great matchups. Hitting the Lariat Tubman on people like Sheeta, on Serena Deeb. Those Serena Deeb and Trish Adora would be
Serena Deeb. I mean, yeah, Serena Deeb and Trish Adora. That's what I would love to see. Trish Adora versus Thunder Rosa. Trish Adora is someone that you need to put in the raid with Jay Cargill. Go out of your way to just watch Trish Adora because she has the greatest name for a finisher ever in the history of the business, the Lariat Tubman. Tubman. That is the greatest name for a finisher that I've ever heard in my life. A couple of more comments that we got to highlight here. Vala B saying Maria should run AEW's women's division. He says Roxy to AEW. Our boy Ninja Mortis says, what up, East Coast Hook Gang? Yeah, we hookers out here in the business. Me in the Hook Gang. Looks like I missed the show. I'll watch it back. All love to you, good brother. Connor Smith says, sounds like Vincent could be great in House of Black as a guy saying he kills promotions.
that would be interesting. And Vincent actually would fit for House of Black.
And then Nick Jackson says, what? This lady just signed with ROH? Lord have mercy. Yes.
Another example of Sinclair Broadcasting and Ring of Honor having bad management. You know what your finances are. And if you don't know what your finances are, you should not be running the business in the first place. So the fact that you knew this and you knew where this was headed and you were still trying to sign Roxy, you were still trying to sign Trish Adora, you were still maybe trying to get into negotiations with Tony Deppen. You just saw Taylor Rust. Taylor Rust gets fired from NXT or released, however you want to call it, and then gets brought over to Ring of Honor on just an appearance deal with him and Jake Atlas at Glory by Dishonor. Then he basically starts working for Ring of Honor on an appearance deal, and they're talking about signing the guy. You're talking about signing the guy, and 2 months and a month or so later, you're talking about how you're going to have to shutter for 3 months, and you're completely reimagining what Ring of Honor is going to look like.
Ridiculous.
Honor is real unless it comes to actually treating your talent well, I guess.
Except when it comes to honoring contracts. We will be talking about Ring of Honor, of course, this week on Fusion of Honor, but I'm going to work it out so I can join StatKing and Ness to review Final Battle, which looks like it will be the final pay-per-view of this iteration of Ring of Honor in December. So I'll be trying to join the guys to review that so we can talk about Ring of Honor, give them a fitting send-off before their sabbatical, before their return in April. So we want the best for especially the talent of ROH. Like we talked about, they have so much talent, like we just talked about with the list that we just went through. So hopefully these guys will land in a great place where they can flourish more in the business than what they already were doing in Ring of Honor. But StatKing, please let the people know where they can find you on social media, the True Hill Heat YouTube channel. Let them know what you got going on, brother.
Guys, you can catch me on Dark Power covering AEW Dark, AEW Elevation, and NWA Power. As always, you can catch me on Fusion of Honor, which I guess will now just be renamed Fusion. Or something Fusion, I don't know.
Best of Fusion.
Best of Fusion. But that is a show where we cover MLW Fusion and Ring of Honor with my co-host, the three-time baby making champ Ness. I'm sure he's going to have some lovely things to say about these developments with Ring of Honor. But thank you guys once again for tuning in. Appreciate it. And thank you guys for, despite everything that Sinclair has done over the years, supporting Ring of Honor as a viable third or second at some point best promotion in the country and in the world, really, because it gave people jobs, it gave people opportunities. We wouldn't have, Damian Priest in WWE if it hadn't been for Punishment Martinez in Ring of Honor. And if we don't have Damian Priest in Ring of Honor and WWE, who is Bad Bunny going to team up with at WrestleMania?
Great points there, sir. We wouldn't have a CM Punk. We wouldn't have a Bryan Danielson. We wouldn't have an AJ Styles. We wouldn't have the Young Bucks would have probably retired when they, weren't getting a lot of jobs or left TNA if it wasn't for Ring of Honor or New Japan Pro Wrestling. So Ring of Honor is something that's very special in a lot of fans' hearts and is very special in True Hill Heat's heart. But you can find me on the Twitter machine at True Hill SP3 later on tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern time. I'll be over on Sportskeeda Wrestling YouTube channel on the Inside Cradle with Kevin Kellum. We're going to be further talking about Ring of Honor as well as a special interview with Fred Yehai. So check that out on the Sportskeeda Wrestling YouTube channel. Of course, be a even bigger supporter than you already are of the True Hill Heat brand on patreon.com/True Hill Heat. Me and Jay News covered the rest of the G1 Climax 31. We talked about the finals. We talked about the injury for Ibushi, Kazuka Okada bringing back the IWGP Heavyweight Championship, Shibata's return, plus much, much more. Become a $3 backer, just $3 a month. 3 simple dollars. Some of you donations are like $20 here. $3 a month for Patreon.
$3 a month, and you can save Ring of Honor.
Exactly. This is going to the Ring of Honor Fund as well. And of course, on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at True Hill Heat. We want to thank everyone who is joining us live. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your thoughts on Ring of Honor, your super chat donations for the StatKing. It is me, your True Hill Phenom SP3. This has been the Romeo Report. Is this the end of ROH? Does Honor still live? We are signing off until next